would anticipate it, but he didn't rule it out, which I thought was interesting. We've also learned a lot about the gunman and the people he wounded. For that, I want to bring in NewsNation correspondent Rich McHugh. He is on the ground right now in Butler, Pennsylvania. First of all, fill us in. FBI gave an update today, more that they've learned about Crooks, the gunman. What have you found out?
Hey, Brian. First of all, much of what we've learned about Crooks came today from the FBI this morning. They gave a conference call to reporters. And basically, here's what we've learned. The 20-year-old Thomas Crooks, police said he was a loner, that he acted alone. He may have been dealing with mental health issues. That's something new. He looked up major depressive order on the internet. There's conversation that he was bullied in high school. Today, we're learning that the school is pushing, Bethel Park High School is pushing back on that. Somebody I spoke with earlier also pushing back on that a little bit, said he may have been bullied, but in the time that he knew him there, he never saw it. So that is certainly gonna play itself out here in the next couple of days, Brian.
Yeah, apparently we're not a lot of warning signs, we're told, for the parents, Rich, but it does appear, based on the new info from the FBI, that he was doing some research ahead of the shooting, including, searches, Google searches. What have we heard about that?
So he was searching for a while. According to the FBI, they say he started buying gun parts and guns more than a year ago, using aliases and encrypted email addresses so as not to be found out, which sort of speaks to a motive. But we have a more detailed timeline of his days that I want to kind of go through. On July 6th, he Googled how far Lee Harvey Oswald was when he shot John F. Kennedy. He looked up other assassination details. On July 7th, he drove to the grounds and spent 20 minutes there. He had already registered for the rally. On July 8th, he went into a shooting range with that AR-15 and practiced. On July 13th, the day of the Trump event, he bought a ladder at 9:30 a.m. that morning. He drove to the showgrounds and spent 70 minutes there. He watched counter snipers arrive and set up. Then he drove back to his hometown, which is an hour away, Bethel Park. He bought 50 rounds of ammunition. He returned to the showgrounds at around 3:35 p.m., flew his drone over the site for 11 minutes. He was spotted by the SWAT team at 5:14 p.m. He climbed onto the roof without the ladder and opened fire. Brian.
Yeah, and it's interesting, when I was in Butler last week, we really paid attention to the ladder. I went out to the Home Depot where he bought the ladder, but it appears now he may have actually used an air conditioner to climb up and just sort of stashed the ladder. All that's still under investigation. But I want to pivot, Rich, to the victims. Obviously, we know the volunteer firefighter Corey Comparator lost his life, but there were 2 victims in the hospital. What's the latest there? How are they doing?
They've both been released from the hospital. So David Dutch, he was wounded. He was released on July 24th from the hospital. The second man injured, James Copenhaver, discharged from the hospital on Friday. We're told that the family says he's recovering from life-altering injuries, Brian.
All right, Rich, thank you. I know you're just on the ground. You're going to be beating the pavement, pounding on doors. You spoke with the gunman's high school guidance counselor today. We're going to bring you that interview tomorrow here on Banfield. We're going to continue to follow this every day.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.